What up, Bulls Nation? Peck here. We got a live CHGO Bulls pregame coming up for y'all right around the corner. Bulls back in action tonight, taking on the Toronto Raptors. Bulls trying to end a 5-game losing streak at home. Protecting that home court as always, Big Dave. Lots of injury updates for both teams, plus a big injury update across the NBA that could impact the Bulls over there in Philly. We'll talk about it next. What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls pregame. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. That's Big Dave.
Oh,
BAWL Sports.
Katie.
Queen of the controls, the one and only KW. What up, Katie?
Hi.
What's so funny?
When she put up that headline, that's brilliant.
Oh, I missed it. What did she say?
It said the sixth straight loss for the Bulls. The
Could
six
be.
is what they call Toronto.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the nickname. Yeah,
Very
okay, yes. That's. I mean, Katie's always
clever.
Always on one with those puns.
Well
on
done.
our thumbnail taglines.
Well done.
I should say on her thumbnail taglines.
On hers. Yes. Correct.
Yes.
Well
No,
done.
I still
it's
think the
our.
winner this season is pissed on when the Bulls lost to
it was
the
the winner.
Pistons by 40.
It was
That's-
the winner when she didn't use it. It was the winner when she did use it.
That's
Like,
the winner of my whole career, if
It's
we're
the
being
one.
honest.
It is the
Because
one.
She wanted to use it. And remember when we played the Pistons like 3 times in the span of four games or 5 games or whatever?
Mhm.
And the first one, which was also a loss, I was like, let's wait. We got to play them 2 more times around the bend. And then the next game, yeah, it was worse. So
Not a
she
good
said, can we use it this time? I said, yes.
Yes. Well done. It was well done.
Well done.
That caught me.
How
That was
you
very
doing,
good.
Dave?
I'm chilling,
Happy
bro.
that it's Friday?
Happy
We
Friday.
got a little mini weekend. Bulls are off tomorrow. We'll be off tomorrow.
I'm happy it's Friday. I'm always happy to watch the Bulls because I'm a
Sicko?
fan. I'm a sicko and I'm a glutton for punishment. And regardless, I love my team. I was in my house today talking myself into stuff about the Bulls. Not $35 million for Josh Giddey, but just about the Bulls in general. I'm not that much of a sicko.
That's lunacy.
Yeah, that is out of control. But I'm also excited because tomorrow is the WWE Elimination Chamber, so I get to watch some wrestling
Ooh.
with my eyes on that. I'm very excited about that. That's cool
Is
shit.
that like, are there belts at stake, or is that like
It's always belts at stake on a pay-per-view or a PLE is what they call it now, a paid live event. So it's always that. And things change, man. You know, nobody does pay-per-view anymore. Like, it's
I
very
guess
hard.
that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody really do that. So, but yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm going to be watching it, and we'll cover it and talk about it on Tuesday with my main man, Greg. And we'll do it like
Wrestling.
that. So,
All City
yeah.
Wrestling.
We'll
Do
do
you
that.
have someone you're rooting for to win this?
Rooting
event?
for? That's
Yeah.
a good question. Not really.
People root for specific wrestlers,
No,
right?
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I'm more so watching it to see what happens for the story because if you're a fan of wrestling, you're a fan of the story.
You're a fan of the sport.
Yes, not the sport, the story. Like
You are.
the story.
You are Rob Lowe wearing an NFL baseball cap at an NFL game. Not a team logo.
Not a team logo.
The NFL shield.
Exactly. I just want to see what happens. I honestly, because I like when you go into wrestling, because I've watched so much of it over my years, that you have an idea of what's going to happen, and you can kind of predict everything that's going to happen. So
Right.
when you can't predict it, that's the extra fun part.
And
of
it's
it.
never – you and I have had some conversations about wrestling over the years. I'm not a big fan.
Is that what you call them, conversations?
Yeah.
It's just you more shitting on my love
No,
of wrestling. Okay.
no, I express curiosity
Conversation.
about certain parts of it that I don't understand, and
Which
you
was all of it.
and you graciously, patiently explain some of it to me when I ask.
This is your nice
like,
PG Pixar
is it-
version of
what-
this.
So
This
like
is
I'm
very,
just
very nice.
bombarding you with
Bro, dude,
vulgarities
it's
anytime we talk
stupid
about
shit,
wrestling.
Dave. It's dumb.
I do think it's a little dumb. When you have convinced me to watch it with you on occasion, I get the entertainment value of it.
Sure.
as you know, a former actor, that it is very performative.
That's all it
but
is.
Some of the acting is so bad that it's painful for me to watch.
Fair.
It's very over the top. But
Very over the
like
top.
you were just talking about, like you're curious to find out what happens. You might have an inkling of what happens.
Yeah.
Does it bug you that the people who make those decisions beforehand, before the wrestlers all go to the ring and do this staged live event, that some people know what's going to happen and you don't because it's scripted?
No, doesn't bother me at all. That's their job. It's to fool me. It's like a magician. Even though you know the trick and what it is, you still want to be fooled because you're going to see a magician. I don't want to go see the magician be like, okay, now I know what the box is, and he's pulling it out of there. Thanks for coming, everyone.
You don't want you don't go to see a magician to watch them explain the trick to you.
Exactly,
Yeah.
man. Just do it. Like, you don't eat salt. You don't want someone to tell you what's in sausage. You just want to enjoy the sausage.
Oh yeah, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, you just exactly.
Hot dogs are delicious.
It's folly to be wise. So yes, man, you just want that, and I want to be entertained. So entertainment is a part of it for me. The actual wrestling is also a part of it for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like it's really enjoyable, and it changes from week to week like a soap opera. So
Well, I am excited for you to
Thank
get
you,
to
man.
watch that tomorrow.
Thank you.
Let
I
me know how it
appreciate
goes.
you'll be the first.
Shout out everybody hanging out with us in the chat tonight. Julie RC, our guy Fish, Mr. Fancy Pants, Rob, Sports Chicago Style, and Aaron. Hit the like, y'all. Thanks for being here. You know what's completely unpredictable, Dave?
Tell me.
Not written, not scripted.
Tell me.
This Bulls Raptors clash we got on deck.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Bulls Raptors always seem to be like crazy, ugly, fisticuff kind of games.
Yes.
The Bulls are, as much as these crazy, lanky Raptors of the last handful of years have always given the Bulls fits. The Bulls are 2-0 against them so far this season. This is game 3 of 4 in their regular season series. There are a whole bunch of injury updates, so why don't we just start with those? Some good news, depending on what you're thinking right now as a Bulls fan, on the Bulls front. Nikola Vucevic does remain out, dealing with that calf tightness that's kept him out the last couple games.
Oh.
But when you're talking about the Bulls front court, yes, also obviously, parentheses, reevaluated in 2 weeks, Patrick Williams remains out. Jalen Smith has been cleared out of the league's concussion protocol and is active tonight. Will play. So we saw Zach Collins play a team-high 38 minutes in their game on Wednesday. And he was talking in the post-game locker room, Goat got video of it. I think it's up on our YouTube shorts right now. It was like, yeah, I think that's the most minutes I've played in like a couple of years in an NBA game.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about a front court, center rotation of Zach Collins and Jalen Smith.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see, between that and a couple other positions, how things change for Billy tonight, rotation-wise.
Yeah, I think he gets to go back to some normalcy at the center position. And by normalcy, I mean just having, here, Vuce, you played this set of time. Here, you're the backup, you played this set of time. So I think he is making his mind up, or I should say Zach Collins has made his mind up for him who's going to be starting. So Zach Collins will get that time. And then when he gets tired, because Zach Collins definitely talked about how tired he was after the game, after he played 38 minutes. So I'm sure that will come down. And then when it's time for Jalen Smith to come in, or if he needs a little more extra rest, he's comfortable running Jalen Smith out there. I don't think the offense changes at all. They both kind of do the same kind of things Vuce does, more so Zach Collins than Jalen Smith. But I don't think it changes or hinders what they really want to do as a team at that position.
Right.
It just kind of, like I said, reaffirms it and makes it simpler for Billy when he's giving out minutes.
So the Bulls did just officially drop their starting lineup a moment ago. It is Collins who starts over Jalen Smith. I think we saw Jalen Smith get a start earlier this season when Vuce missed just one game somewhere back there, as I recall.
You're right.
But so it is Collins who gets the start over Jalen Smith at the 5, along with Maz Buzelis. There's another start for the youngin.
Thank you.
Lonzo, Coby, and Giddey. So there's your 3 guards, Modest and Collins. Speaking of those guards, Ayo Dosunmu back from his shoulder stinger or whatever that shoulder subluxation, I think they were calling it, whatever that is. He is available tonight. So he will come off and play a bench role. We know that Ayo can be comfortable and thrive, whether he's starting or coming off the bench. He's done it his entire NBA career. Right. But so they get Jalen back tonight. They get Ayo back tonight. And then the other interesting thing with dealing with several injuries, and it was also true for the Wednesday game, I told you earlier Wednesday afternoon, like, hey, EJ Liddell is on the injury report as a two-way player who's been upgraded to questionable.
Yes.
Did not saw him on the bench on Wednesday, but did not see him get any tick in that game.
Not a sniff.
Today's injury report, Liddell, along with his fellow two-way Windy City / Bulls guys, Jameer Young, the most recent addition after the Sonogo wave, and Emmanuel Miller, were all listed questionable. The most recent one at 5:30 Central Time, Jameer Young and Emmanuel Miller listed as available tonight.
Okay.
And EJ Liddell not. What do you make of that?
It's what's been going on all season, which is I don't understand it. So I'm not shocked at all. I'm just like, yeah, it's kind of par for the course. Like, oh, yeah, we guys, we only got 2 big guys tonight. Sit down. Have a seat. Go in and relax. But we have a plethora of guards out here. We need more that are on the roster and ready. So I don't know. Like I have gotten used to the chaos of what has been going on and not knowing what's going on from the team. But, yeah, that doesn't make sense if you're just looking at it, especially going against a team like the Raptors who are just all elbows and knees and legs. Like, so you're going to need some guys with some strength and some length out there. But they're comfortable with the guards. I remember when that used to be debated by people to me, like Billy loves guards. I'm like, come on, dog. He loves them. Yeah. Again, AK is signing these guys, but it is his decision to have a guy like Liddell sitting out and more guards that'll be on the bench. Right. I don't get it.
It is strange because I think you, myself, plenty of Bulls fans have been like, yo, we got EJ Liddell. He's been playing well in Windy City. Like, the team is kind of steering towards resting some vets or, giving plenty of rest to guys with even a nagging injury. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not take a closer look? So I'm curious to see if we see either Jameer Young or Emmanuel Miller get any tick in this game.
Yeah.
Could depend on if it's a close game or a blowout for either team.
Right.
But so that's the latest on the Bulls injury front. For the Raptors, meanwhile, Scotty Barnes, who missed their game on Wednesday against the Pacers, was questionable earlier today with a hip, but he has been given the green light and is in that Raptors starting lineup. Great news for all those Bulls fans still hoping for L's this time of year.
That is true.
Brandon Ingram, who they acquired in a trade before the deadline, and we'll circle back to that in a minute, not active, still dealing with that ankle injury since he arrived in the trade. He's been out since, I think, mid to late December.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
PJ Tucker, Wiley vet.
PJ Tucker.
Waived by the team earlier today. So, there was a lot of confusion in, one of those trades that involved PJ Tucker. It was like, well, he actually didn't land here. No, now he landed here. Well, he's not going to stay here. The Raptors officially waived PJ Tucker earlier today. Bulls legend Garrett Temple has not played a whole lot for them this season, but he is out currently. Personal reasons, excused absence. Jamison Battle, a rookie who has started to get some more significant minutes for the Raptors as they have dealt with a plethora of injuries and probably trying to stack up L's, has been out for a while with a nasal fracture. He's out tonight. And one of my favorite new NBA names, Ulrich Shamshay.
Oh, man. What? The one and only.
Yeah, he's out for the season with an MCL tear.
Oh, man.
Just gotten there a little bit for Toronto this season.
Oh,
but
so hurt.
I mean, how often you get an NBA player named Ulrich?
That's true.
Ulrich?
That's true.
That's just,
I'm going to tell you what, never.
Great name for a villain in an 80s action movie.
Yeah. Ulrich.
NBA player?
It's you, Bruce Willis. It's you, Ulrich. Ulrich.
So with Barnes available, that Raptors starting lineup for tonight, Emmanuel Quickley, Grady Dick, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, who, of course, a big piece of that Raptors-Knicks trade this past offseason, and Jakob Poeltl.
It's so wild that they lose so much. I mean, injuries have really affected them. But
you read that starting five, and you're like, that's not terrible.
That's not terrible at all.
Between Quickley, Barnes, Barrett, Poeltl,
that's
no shade to Grady Dick, but, he's the, I would say, the least impressive of that starting five.
True.
But
that's your boy, though. You love his jacket and everything.
that draft night jacket, man. I forgot about that until just now when you brought it up.
It was the best because you immediately said, "Yeah, I hate him."
Yeah,
immediately. Didn't know anything about it. Immediately. I hate that jacket. I hate him. Impressive.
But yeah, I agree. You're looking at like there's plenty of talent on this team, but they are just not winning.
Yeah.
They are a bottom 5 team in offense and defense this year. A net rating of negative 5.9, 25th in the NBA. As far as what they do well, what they don't do well, offensively, They're a middle of the pack team as far as pace, 99, just over 99 possessions per 48.
Yeah.
3-point attempt rate, only team in the league to take to have only the Denver Nuggets have a smaller 3-point attempt rate than the Toronto Raptors. Barely take any threes, and they only hit them at a just shy of 35% clip. So 21st in the NBA at making threes, 29th in taking them. However, what they do well, which could be a problem for the Bulls tonight, Dave, because it is a couple of their Achilles heels, they're 9th in the NBA in offensive rebounding percentage. We know that the Bulls have been giving up second chance points a lot this season.
True.
Points in the paint, Bulls defense, 0 rim protection to speak of.
Okay.
They are 5th in points in the paint, 53.5 per game, and fast break points. The Bulls offensively are a very top tier. I think the Bulls are 3rd in the NBA in fast break points per game right now.
Yeah.
Raptors are right on their heels at 5th with 17.2 fast break points per game. So, again, this Raptors team offensively is no juggernaut for the Bulls, who we know have been a bad defensive unit all season.
True.
But there are certain things that they do well that they could capitalize on, because there are some weaknesses that this Bulls team has specifically.
There are? Really?
Well, just a
didn't know
few.
that.
Just a few.
Well, the main one is just looking at his size. That is the biggest weakness for it. It hasn't hindered the Bulls as far as their winning and beating these teams. But size is definitely an issue when it comes to that. It will rear its ugly head again tonight for the Bulls. I'm not saying to stop them from getting a win. Kind of hope it does.
Yoo-hoo.
But I don't think it will hinder things for them. But it's going to be an issue because guys will be able to get their shots. Scotty Barnes, I don't know if he played in those 2 games for the Bulls, but I expect him to do his thing because Patrick Williams will not be out there guarding him in like he is, and those are teammates, and they kind of go at each other a little bit. And Scotty Barnes usually wins it, but they do go at each other, and that is a bigger body and a bigger size guy that the Bulls just simply won't have tonight. So watching what Grady Dick will do, because I expect Josh Giddey to be on him. I'm curious to see what that matchup will look like, but the pace and the way they play, both teams are very similar in that. They like to run, as you just mentioned. They like to get out there and do that, but the difference is that offensive rebounding. Zach Collins is a pretty solid rebounder. So is
I think he had 7 offensive rebounds on Wednesday.
Yes. Massive rebounds that he had. So that's impressive for him. But also Josh Giddey and his rebounding will continue to be an important piece for the Bulls, especially against a team of Velociraptors that are out there trying to, kill Jurassic Park.
Yeah. On your previous note about Barnes in the previous matchups, he did not play in the Bulls' first win over the Raptors earlier this season. Remember, Barnes missed a big chunk of games early on this season and then has been back and largely healthy since. He did play in the Bulls' second win over the Raptors and dropped a 20-10-5 line in that game.
That's pretty good.
So, yeah.
It's not bad at all, man.
I am looking for Barnes to have a productive night. He's just shy of 20 points per game for them this season. 7.8 boards, 6.2 assists. Obviously, RJ Barrett in his sort of like quasi-star level of NBA productivity, 21.8 points on pretty respectable 47.5, 35.5 shooting splits.
That is
he's also grabbing 6.5 boards, dishing out 5.5 assists. Jakob Poeltl, classic 14, 15, and 10 guy. And I mentioned this Raptors team does not take a lot of threes, and they make them 21st ranked efficiency in the NBA. But the 2 ones you have to be mindful of if you're the Bulls, the ones you can't let loose tonight if you're the Bulls, Quickly and Grady Dick.
Oh, my goodness.
They are their 2 lethal weapons behind the three-point line. Each of them take just over 6 threes a game. Quickly makes them at just shy of 38%. Grady Dick's right around 35%.
Yeah. Quickly is a problem when he gets hot and he gets going.
Woo.
He is an absolute menace scoring the ball. So, yeah, that would be – he hasn't been.
I feel like Quickly had a, Bulls nemesis game not that long ago, did he not?
Yeah, he did. No, you're right. He has. And we'll see what he's got tonight at the UC. And also, the Bulls are not a great team at home. The Bulls are a better team on the road.
5 straight home L's coming into tonight.
I'm saying, man, that's not their thing. They do it on the road where they win by 50 against teams. So not at home so much. So I'm interested to see how that plays out as well.
And, when you talk about an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object and the Bulls being, 5 straight L's and a bad home team this season.
Yes.
The Raptors on the road, 5-22 this year. They leave good old Canada,
Ooh.
and they cannot win basketball
Not
games.
Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's not good.
Right.
Okay. That's not
So
good.
one of these teams has to win
Something's
tonight.
got to give.
The Raptors going against the grain and actually getting a rare road win, or the Bulls ending their home losing streak. The Raptors have one road win in the month of February.
Wow.
Can you guess which team it's against?
The Bulls.
It'll make you mad as a Bulls fan.
The Wizards?
Nope.
The 76ers.
Bing, bing, bing. The only team to lose to the only team that the Raptors have beaten on the road in February. Philadelphia 76ers.
Thanks.
Bulls also recently smashed the Sixers. Where? In Philly.
In Philly.
Yeah.
He said, where? In Philly.
That was a fun one. Speaking of Philly, quick little side jaunt, and then we'll circle back to tonight's action. Speaking of the Bulls and the Sixers and the Raptors and the Nets and all of those teams that are right there fighting for 10th.
Yeah.
The big news earlier today across the NBA, Shams Charania reported it. The Sixers have officially shut down Joel Embiid for the season, Dave.
Okay. Yes.
Not a big surprise,
No.
I think, for some people who are reading the tea leaves. And by tea leaves, it was just reporting that was like, yeah, we're taking a closer look and we're looking at these medicals and this is looking great.
Yeah.
And then you would see him play when he actually was active, and you're like, that does not look great.
No, he did not. He was falling down and flopping and flailing.
So you combine that and the Sixers being mindful enough to know, hey, we have a top 6 protected pick this year.
Yeah.
It's a pretty stacked draft in the top in the lottery. Let's shut Embiid down, see what we can do to fix this knee problem, and maybe focus on keeping that pick. And that officially became the team's decision today. So
it's a smart one on their end.
I agree.
I mean, like I said, the Bulls made the decision for them in that game. They answered that question about what they should be doing. Not Paul George, but the actual Chicago Bulls answered that question for them. So I'm not surprised by it. It should have happened a while ago. I hope he gets better. I hope it's the right surgery that he needs. The first person I kind of thought of was Zach LaVine when I heard this news, because he kind of did something very similar.
Right.
Went ahead and took the surgery, and honestly, he's been better for it.
Balling.
He's been out of control. Dropped 42 the other day, and he's just been really great scoring for Sacramento, and we'll see if that is also will be the case for a guy like Joel Embiid. And we also know the draft ramifications that come with this as well. So it's a smart basketball move on their part. We simply hate it because, it affects the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah. Basically, I saw that news today and I was like, all right, well, Brooklyn, you're our only hope.
That's it.
Our guy Rob in the comments saying Pelicans and Philly lucking into 2 spots in the top 10. Referring to the lottery standings, not the NBA standings.
Yeah.
Something that you can't prepare for, even trying to make your roster bad.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Philly and the injury to Embiid and just other problems that team has had all season long. And then obviously with New Orleans just decimated by injuries.
Yeah.
Zion earlier this year, he's back and playing again recently, but you lose DeJounte Murray to a season-ending ACL.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram's been out for 2 going on 3 months. Now Toronto Raptor Brandon Ingram, we'll get to that. But yeah, two teams that people thought would be competitive are just now tanking teams.
Just like we're done.
Which doesn't help the Bulls, But again, it's the fact the Bulls did nothing to help themselves at the beginning of this season, last offseason, last trade deadline to better position themselves here. But it's okay, guys, because AK got our pick back.
Hope and luck, baby.
No worries.
Hope and luck.
It's fine if we draft 11th because we'll still have our pick at 11.
Hope and luck. That's all I got right now is hope and luck.
So, but
top 4 pick.
Mentioning that Sixers basically now are officially steering towards the bottom, trying to keep that top 6 pick. The Bulls still clinging to that 10th seed, despite being 5-22 in their last whatever. I don't know. They've lost a lot recently. Still in 10th. Now you got Brooklyn, who's managed to get a couple wins recently. Yeah. And Toronto, who looked like they were competing with Philly. Competing with the Wizards for a while, tank-wise. They had that crazy stretch leading up to the trade deadline. They won 8 of 11 games.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, crap, we just won 8 of 11 games, and now they're 2-8 in their last 10.
Yeah.
But 5 games back of the Bulls in 10th. At 18 wins, Bulls are at 23. But people have been pointing this out for a little while now. When you're talking about strength of schedule across the entire NBA, no team has an easier remaining schedule than the Toronto Raptors.
Ooh, I like hearing that.
Toronto Raptors get a dub a rare road dub against the Bulls tonight.
Yeah.
That's the Bulls gaining ground on them and vice versa, because they're, if the Raptors do want to make a push at this, because literally, if you're Toronto saying, all right, well, the Ingram move was kind of a next season and beyond move.
Yeah.
Let's, just, have a high draft pick this season.
Yeah.
Now you're looking and you're like, okay, Embiid shut down. The Bulls, who are losing a lot recently, and Brooklyn are our only competition if we actually want to make a run at that 10 seed and see if we can go to the playoffs.
That's true. I mean, and the Bulls are sitting pretty there, however you want to define pretty. They're sitting pretty there at that 10th seed. They can't win enough to move up, and they can't lose enough to get out of it. So they are truly the version of stuck, and just right there. Depending on how you're looking at it. Some people want to go to the, play-in for this year. I never mind going to the play-in except for this year. But I never mind going. I'm always a person who will err on the side of winning, but I understand the tea leaves and what I'm reading and what I'm looking at, which is why I was okay with them not going this season. If they did it and the young guys, like I continue to say, Matt, if the young guys were integral in getting the Bulls to a 10 seed, I would have a whole different mindset, a whole different view of all of this.
Yeah.
I would be on board and completely with it. But as you know, it was Zach and it was Vooch carrying the Bulls to these victories and getting them there like that. So wasn't so much the young guys, wasn't a maturation of Patrick Williams, wasn't a super growth of Coby White. Ayo Dosunmu has been dealing with injuries a lot this season. Modest has been on the bench a lot this season.
Mm-hmm.
So to make that decision with these, next, 20, how many games left?
Tonight is game 60.
Okay.
So after tonight, it'll be 22.
So with these next 22 games left.
Shout out Taj.
Shout out Taj. Yeah, and to make that decision then is like, okay, it's not exciting, for me. But we'll see what happens. There is still time for stuff to happen. And that's what I have to roll with and be on. So that's what I'm going to be looking at, man.
May have spoken too soon with the Sixers packing it in, shutting the beat down. We're steering towards the tank and not the play-in. Little Shams bomb just a few moments ago.
Shams bomb?
Former Lakers first-round pick Jalen Hood-Schifino has agreed on a two-way contract with the Philadelphia 76ers.
We're back, baby.
They're back.
We're back.
Who?
Back.
Jalen Hood-Schifino.
You ain't heard of Hood-Schifino? What?
No.
Oh, my goodness, man. Look, Michael Jordan, LeBron James,
Denzel
Kobe
Valentine.
Bryant. We're not crazy now.
Jalen Hood-Schifino.
Jalen Hood-Schifino. You know what I mean?
Household name.
You know what I'm saying? That's how it go, boy. Shout out to all the hoochies out there.
Household name.
That's what his fans are called. His fans are the hoochies.
Are they really?
I
Or did
hate
you just
that.
make
No, I just
up?
made that up. I just made that up.
I
love
hate that
so
bad.
much. That's true.
I just made that up.
All right, so before we wrap up, just there were all kinds of crazy trades that went down leading up to and on trade deadline day. Back on February 8th. It seems like a lifetime ago now,
God.
doesn't it?
Ugh.
One of them involving one of the bigger names in the league was the Raptors trading for Brandon Ingram. In case y'all forgot what exactly the pieces of that trade were, let's revisit it, Katie. I don't know if you have that graphic. But so the Raptors get Brandon Ingram. The Pelicans get Bruce Brown, integral part of that Nuggets team that won a chip 2 years ago and then went to Indy and then got traded and now has gotten traded again.
Yeah.
Kelly Olynyk, just absolute legend.
Your boy.
Right there with Jalen Hood-Schifino. A 2026 first-round pick that's actually coming via the Pacers that the Raptors had the rights to. And then a 2031 second-round pick that is the Raptors' own second-round pick. Who do you like this trade significantly more for either of these teams, Dave? Obviously, with Ingram, it is not a win-this-season move.
Right, correct.
Because 6 days after they made this trade, to maybe the surprise of some, they signed Brandon Ingram, who was on an expiring deal. This was the last season of his 5-year max that he signed with New Orleans. 3 years, $120 to stay with the Raptors next season over the next 3 years.
Congratulations, young man.
Congratulations to Ingram on securing that bag.
Yeah.
What do you make of it, Dave?
I think I like it on both sides. I like Brandon Ingram as a player. He's long and he's, athletic and he can shoot that thing. And he's an all-star. Yes, you can use that on your basketball team. So putting it on the Raptors, they have a type. The Raptors absolutely have a type. 6'4" is not allowed on the Raptors. You got to be, 6'6" and up to get on this squad.
Yeah.
So Ingram fits that, and it allows them to rotate and play their brand of basketball that is like very attack with arms and limbs and legs guys.
Right.
So it bolsters that rotation. Plus, this dude can score 40. you know what I'm saying, on any given night. And even having R.J. Barrett, another guy who can score the basketball as well with you.
And the ascension of Scotty Barnes,
And
man.
I'm just about to say his name.
Phew, go for it.
So that's a very solid three right there.
That could be a dangerous trio of, they're quasi-stars, but
sure.
Brandon Ingram, former All-Star. If he's healthy, he's an All-Star player.
Correct.
Scotty Barnes made his first All-Star nod last season.
Right.
And R.J. Barrett, not All-Star, but like solid player.
Yeah.
That's a pretty solid big three.
Sure.
If they are healthy and the complementary pieces are there.
And for, obviously, the Pelicans, a team who is not trying to win or not trying to do anything, you collect assets because that's what you do. You're a team that is bad. You collect assets and you get draft picks and you build for the future. And that's perfect for them out in the West. It's easier to read the tea leaves out in the West than it is the East.
Yeah.
They will make it plain and tell you exactly the kind of level you are quickly.
Yeah.
They will let you know, like, nope, you're trash. Sorry, you're not here. You're not competing with us. Absolutely get out. So Pelicans found that out pretty early. The Bulls in the East, y'all know. It's a whole different kind of world.
Y'all
but
know.
I like it for both sides. I don't think anybody walked away feeling robbed.
Yeah. I think it was a trade that made sense for both sides.
Yeah.
Real quick before we get out of here, because we have passed the 7 o'clock hour here in Chicago, Camille Quintero in the comments saying, I listened to that Corey Teleba live earlier today. Have Peck and Big Dave said their top 3 draft targets? No, we have not.
Not yet.
As Katie just said in the replies in the comments. We'll save that.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta have something in our back pocket. But yesterday's show, in case you missed it, you can go listen to it or watch it while watching the Bulls Raptors game, or watch it this weekend.
Yeah.
Again, shout out to our guy Corey Teleba, his crew. He and his crew at No Ceilings NBA do some of the best draft scouting and draft content around right now. Subscribe to their YouTube channel, NoCeilingsNBA.com. You can subscribe to their Substack there. They do great mock drafts. We were going over their most recent one on yesterday's show. So, yes, we have started talking NBA draft prospects, guys, because we're Bulls fans.
Yeah.
We're going to have a pick, hopefully in the top 10, maybe the top 4. It's draft season.
Hope and luck, baby.
That's right.
Top 4, top 3, let's go.
That's right.
I have one more thing to tell you before we get out of here.
Please do.
I ran a poll.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. Just
Why?
because Dave mentioned Jurassic Park and they're playing the Raptors, and I think Jurassic Park is a great trio of movies. So I ran a poll about which one the best one is, and everybody
like 12
said,
of them now.
No. I'm talking.
You're talking the OG?
No, I got
just
you.
the OG.
Right.
None of this Chris Pratt stuff. No.
Yeah. Unwatchable.
And
The new
everybody
series?
said number 1 is the best one, and I agree for the most part.
Yeah. So, I mean, but how convincingly? Okay, 78% of the
very
vote says the OG
convincingly.
Jurassic Park of the OG trilogy
Yeah.
is the best. That's the correct answer.
Yeah, set the world on fire.
The other roughly 21% of you who voted Jurassic Park 2 or 3 or the other Jurassic World series, out of your minds.
Yeah, I will give you Jurassic Park 2 because you got to have a backup to that kind of blockbuster. But 3,
And there's some solid Goldblum scenes in Jurassic Park 2.
Oh,
I
absolutely
agree.
right.
2 has an argument. 3 can.
3 is like,
I'm not throwing
you know
it
what? I love me some William H.
yeah,
William H. Mace, love it.
he's the man.
He's the father who's lost his son when they
Yes.
got to go find him on the island in Jurassic Park 3.
He's a chameleon.
Still just a terrible movie.
It's a bad movie.
It's not a good movie.
I'm
They
not
never
throwing it
recovered.
in the trash, but it's not the best one.
Yeah, if it's on, I'll go to sleep to it.
I'll sleep instead of watching
Yeah,
that.
I'll fall asleep to it. I love having sleep movies. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
Jurassic
yeah.
Park 3?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, baby. I'm about to catch a good nap right here. Let's go.
On that note, let's watch some Bulls Raptors action.
Yeah.
We will be right back here for live post game
Let's go,
after
Modest.
the fact. Make sure y'all are following our guy Willie Go Gottlieb for his in-game updates. Will_Gottlieb. Read his stuff, ALLCITY.com, and we will see you for post game. See you begin.
Jurassic.
We all silly like the mayor.